Hello, friends. Australia is a magical country at the edge of the world. Unique animals live there, but the people are just like those on any other continent. There are good ones, and unfortunately, there are irresponsible ones too. And our story today is going to be about a driver who hit a kangaroo and fled the scene. How can someone knowingly leave an animal to die? Fortunately, people passing by weren't as cruel. When kind people approached the animal, they initially thought that they could no longer help it, but suddenly they noticed something unusual. They realized that there was more than one animal in front of them. Unfortunately, the adult female kangaroo couldn't be helped anymore, but they also saw a tiny paw reaching out for help. Melanie was one of the people at the scene. When she came closer, she noticed a joey in the adult kangaroo's pouch. If the joey stayed there a little longer, it would have certainly died, Melanie said. The thing is, a baby kangaroo that's still in the pouch cannot survive without its mother. Being well protected from the cold and bad weather in the pouch, the joey grows up quickly, but only starts to poke its head out by the 5th month. By that point, the body is already lightly covered in fur, and its upright ears react to any noise. By the end of the 6th month, it gains enough courage to try climbing out of the pouch and walking around its mother for a bit. And only by the end of the 8th month can it finally leave its refuge completely. However, even after the joey leaves the pouch, the mother continues to take care of it for several more months. Melanie took the kangaroo joey to the vet, where they named it Dawson. Kristen Gilmore, who worked at the clinic, helped the animal gain strength. Fortunately, people managed to provide the joey with first aid soon enough, and now the animal would remain under the vet's care for the next 18 to 24 weeks. There was also another joey in the clinic named Nelson. They will stay together for a while, and then we'll release them both into the wild when they get strong enough, Kristen said. Currently, the orphans are strongly attached to each other and rely entirely on the caregivers who feed them. Later on, the contact will be minimalized to help them adjust to independent life before we release them. Fortunately, this sad story has a rather happy ending. Unfortunately, cases of joeys left being without their mothers aren't isolated, and if humans don't come to their aid, they are doomed to perish. Australian man Chris Barnes is known for rescuing kangaroo joeys whose mothers got killed in car accidents. It often happens that the joeys hiding in their pouches remain unharmed. It is thanks to people like Chris that these joeys can be saved. Chris Barnes loves animals. He is also known by the nickname Brolga, which means Australian crane. He got this nickname for a reason. Chris was previously involved in bird conservation in Western Australia. Currently, he is dedicated to establishing a sanctuary for kangaroo joeys whose mothers were killed in car accidents while the joeys were still in their pouches. Unfortunately, kangaroos often die under the wheels of cars. Chris usually finds joeys in the pouches of the dead mothers by the side of the road. Once, while working as a guide, I noticed a kangaroo lying on the ground. I got off the bus to check it. It was a bloated and decaying female kangaroo. She had been dead for several days, but there was still a live joey in her pouch. I took it in and named it Palau. Then I nursed it and took care of it, and a year later, I released it back into the wild. It was Chris Barnes' first rescue experience, which inspired him to establish a sanctuary. So many people drive past the dead kangaroos, unaware that there might be live joeys in their pouches right at that moment. Chris established a kangaroo rescue center, but quickly realized that there wasn't enough space there, which prompted the man to seek expansion. Unfortunately, he couldn't afford it, even working 2 jobs. But then he got an inheritance from his uncle. Today, Chris Barnes continues to expand the territory of the sanctuary as well as take care of the young kangaroos. His efforts were even recognized by the BBC in a specially created show called Kangaroo Dundee. Currently, Chris owns 90 acres of land with shrubs and 30 houses for kangaroos of different ages, as well as other animals. Anyone can do it, Chris says. He strives to keep the shrubs and other vegetation untouched, creating a sense of undisturbed wilderness for the young kangaroos. Chris made pouches for the joeys using blankets and pillowcases, ensuring they feel safe, never get cold, and can be with him wherever he goes. Once the kangaroos mature and are ready for independent life, Chris releases them into the wild. Since its opening in 2005, the sanctuary has helped over 200 kangaroos. Just like young children, joeys require constant care. Chris's incredible efforts have been made possible by generous donations. His next goal is establishing the first wildlife hospital in Central Australia within the sanctuary's grounds. In recognition of his accomplishments and extraordinary kindness towards animals, Chris was named Australian of the Year in 2014. Thanks to people like Melanie and Chris, our faith in humanity grows stronger every day. That's all for today, friends. Share your thoughts on today's episode in the comments. Hit the like button, and we'll see you next time.